Boys, they're actually saving Season 4 of Shadowlands. So, first off, before we even start reading, I want to tell you guys a story. So picture this. Week 1 of Season 4, the Conquest cap is 1200 Conquest. Now this is the quote-unquote experimental season, so I'm thinking in my head, okay, they are experimenting with giving you more Conquest at the start. So now we need to do a little calculating. So check this out. 1200 is the cap, week 1. So by Blizzard logic, it's going to increase the way it works in Shadowlands by 1200. So week 2, you will have the ability to acquire 2,400 Conquest points. And a two-handed weapon, 1,800 Conquest. So now you have 600 Conquest to spend. So I'm thinking, okay, week 1, I can actually get a piece. And I can still get my weapon week 2 if I don't get it from the vault. So in my head I'm thinking, what can you get? There's a few 525 pieces. So you got rings, necklace, I think bracers, and cape. Now you don't want to replace necklace or rings because A, I use legendaries in those slots, and B, I have gems sockets on every single piece. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, cape. It costs 525. It has 4 different capes, so you can get, the best stats, and it has main stat. So week 1, I'm buying a cape. So check this out. Let's do some math. 2,400 minus 525, if I can actually click. So I will have enough for my weapon if I don't get lucky from the box. So guess what? So in the history of World of Warcraft PvP, as far as I know, there has never been a situation where week 1 to week 2 the cap has lowered. It has never gone down. The way it used to work, week 1 it's like 800. Week 2 it would be 800 plus a certain amount depending on your rating. So if you got 2k, you might get an extra 2 or 400. If you didn't get, if you got 1,000 rating, it might not actually go up. So in the past, week 1 to week 2, based on your rating, it would go up. But they went away with that because, good players getting more gear faster. It's just going to create a bigger disparity, is that the word? Between the noobs and the pros. So they didn't like that. So it was just base, the way it worked, you just 800 plus 800 plus 800, and eventually they just took off the cap, right? So I'm thinking, okay, by Blizzard's logic, 1200, it's not going to go up, and surely they would never lower it, right? But week 2 I log in, guess what it is? Plus 800. Why would they ever lower the Conquest cap, week 1 to week 2? That makes no sense. So on both of my hunters, I bought a cape. So check this out. Little poor Johnny cannot buy his weapon this week. And guess what? There's, how many Fury Warriors just fucking opened their vault and got a two-hander and then bought a two-hander? There's warriors out there with two-handers, and my dumbass doesn't have a fucking Conquest weapon. So I'm just getting fucking juiced by these motherfucking warriors all day. Because I'm just a fucking idiot. Because I thought Blizzard would apply logic to some part of their fucking game. Why would it ever go down? But I guess that's the experiment. So enough of the rant about me not being able to get a weapon, but week 3, they are lifting the cap. And the Spoil of War buff is returning. So basically, the first paragraph here is saying, we understand that all the Mythic Plus nerds are fully geared now and you PvPers feel like shit. And, yeah, all the PvP, the Mythic Plus nerds have been running the same keystone 28 times in the past 8 days because they are fucking nerds and that's what they do. Run the same dungeon 28 times. Now they're fully geared, upgraded and everything. And now the second paragraph, is just basically talking about, removing the Conquest cap. And, we understand that people who maybe missed the first 2 weeks are going to feel like they're at a disadvantage to all the fully geared people. And you know what I have to say to that? Cry about it, dude. Like, if you're good, you'll win. If you're bad, you'll lose. It's that simple. Yeah, you might get juiced by a damn Fury Warrior, but that's the way it goes. You laugh it off, you get fucking Bone Dust Brew, Spinning Crane Kick, punching, out the game. Ha ha he he, on to the next one. You don't cry to the forums. You can acquire gear at the same rate. Just fucking play the game. And then this third little paragraph thing, is just them explaining why they did that. They're like, well, we don't want Mythic Plusers and Raiders to feel like you guys are getting too much gear now, so we gotta throttle you a little bit. But in reality, Mythic Plusers run 35 dungeons and get fully geared. Like, how is that how does Conquest cap how does that translate? It doesn't. I will say, like, when the new Mythic raid comes out, it could be an advantage. If there is no Conquest cap, they might feel like they have to get high rated and get gear that way. So I do think, there's that to compare. But Mythic Plus, they can just farm the dungeon all day and get, all this great gear. But the Spoil of War buff is the second part. So at the start of week 3, Battlegrounds and Arenas have their Conquest gains increased by 25. So you'll be earning Conquest faster. That's sweet. And Honor by 40. So if you are just returning and trying to get that Honor gear 7 out of 7 upgraded, perfect time. Now my question is, Alliance already have like a 50% Honor gain from BGs. Will they get the 40 added? That would be insane. And the Solo Shuffle Brawl. Why does it say Brawl? Isn't it just normal Solo Shuffle? Anyways, the minimum item level floor is 278, so even if you're under geared, you won't walk in there with 12k health. They'll scale you up to 278, which is nice, because I've entered a Solo Shuffle and seen like a 40k warrior, and I'm like, okay, every round we're just gonna kill you. Accept it, buddy. But yeah, I just want to quickly talk about how they're saving the game. In my opinion, 1 week too late, because my dumbass doesn't have a weapon, and both of my hunters have fucking capes, no weapons, and there's Fury Warriors out there just... God, I hate Fury Warriors, especially with 2 weapons. I log into the arena, and I see, like, the guy with, like, I'm at, like, 90-something K, he's at, like, 98. I'm like, fuck, he has 2 weapons. Like, you can just tell. Like, you just look at the health, and the guy's, like, already fucking heroic leaping to you. You're like, yep, he has 2 weapons. He's ready to pump. But, yeah, that's it, boys. They're saving the game.